Welcome back. This is Drew in 32, and this is our 6th episode where I'll be sharing with y'all about our relationship with our home, the planet Earth, and somewhat specifically to the United States, but I feel like in this episode, more of a global kind of thing will come through. So, really talking about humans in general and our relationship with the earth, but then also with some specific examples related to the United States. So, yeah, man. Because we only got one planet, right? There's no planet B. And Elon hasn't figured out how to get us to Mars or wherever else yet. So, if we keep going the way we're going, we're fucked. And it's not the planet that needs saving, right? Like, I've heard this in so many different settings, people in ceremony or people at some kind of crunchy hippie gathering. Yeah, people are always like, oh, we need to pray for the earth. We need to save the earth. No, you don't. The earth's good. The earth has been here for billions of years, and it's going to be around long after the humans are gone. All right? So what we need to pray for and get right about real quick is saving ourselves, right? Because the earth is a living being, and if it's being negatively affected a little too much by the human fever, right, or the human plague or whatever we are, the earth will just raise the temperature a couple of degrees or blow a couple earthquake and tsunamis out, and then humans are done. Right? And then the earth carries on and life will manifest in other forms. So, just to be very clear here, we don't need to save the earth. We need to save ourselves. And we need to do that ideally sooner rather than later before the earth shakes us loose. Right? And the human experiment is over. So, this is definitely self-preservation. This is not super noble. Right? We need to get in relationship with the earth and nature. And just life. We got to approach it differently if we want the quality of our experience to be cooler or continue. Right? So, All right, cool. And so I'm calling this episode The Stewards of Earth because for me, I feel like that is the mentality that we should have or we should be working towards. We should understand that as human beings, we get this really cool opportunity to be on a planet that has a ton of cool shit going on. And we have the capacity to care for it, right? That we have the ability to steward this beautiful planet. And that's not what we're doing right now. Right now we are raping and pillaging and doing all of the most awfulest things to our home, to the planet. And I don't think it's because we're evil or bad. We're just misguided and lost. And also, there's some folks that have a lot of power and a lot of juice and a lot of money right now that, their whole approach to everything is take, right? And so a lot of the shittiest parts of our current human relationship with the planet, it's rooted in this sense of entitlement that like the planet is here for us to do with whatever we want and to take whatever we want whenever we want. And and that's warped because the planet is here to provide for us. I mean, really the planet provided us, right? Like human beings are a form of life. The whole spinning rock here is just life in a million different forms, right? And so, we're not really different from the planet, right? But we're a little drunk, a little lost right now, so we think we're something different. And then, the planet provides everything we need, but we don't need to just like fucking steal and take everything like greedy maniacs, Like, cool, you can chop down a couple trees and build yourself a shelter. awesome. How cool is that? That like literally you just look around and there's the material around you to create the tool that allows you to manipulate what the earth offers to then create a place where you are safe from the elements. And then, you can hunt and you can eat. Like, it's so fucking cool. It's all here. It's all for us to do whatever we want with. But we have to have a certain kind of reverence and respect for the abundance that's all around us. Right? It's like if a supermarket just had all free food, right? It was just full. That'd be cool. That'd be awesome. So then you can just go there whenever you needed and get this snack or that food or whatever, right? But if there's some knuckleheads that are just coming in and ransacking the place, that all of a sudden sets a pretty bad trend. And then once one person's taking more than they should, then everybody else gets feared up and thinks that if they don't also do that, then they won't have any, right? And so then that's how the scarcity and the greed spiral begins. Because you don't have scarcity without greed. You don't have greed without scarcity. Right? Like if you can shift out of that dynamic into like the abundance and the appreciation kind of vibe, it's a totally different quality of experience. And so if there's just abundance, there's enough for everybody to have whatever they need and probably a little bit of what they want. And if we can have appreciation for that and gratitude for that, yeah, then everything's kind of flowing pretty harmoniously. But fast forward to United States economic shit show, capitalist greed orgy 2025, which is a fucking nightmare. All right. And so, we've been ravaging the planet for a while. Like if we get honest, we've been taking more from the planet than we need for a while. And our relationship with nature, with the planet, has been out of whack for shit. What's bigger than generations? Like whole waves of culture. Yeah. I'm saying it's big. I don't even know what the word is for it. Like whole epochs. Is that the right word? All right. Let me say it like this. So I've had the opportunity to travel the world, right? Hang out on 4 different continents, 11 different countries. So I'm not the most seasoned traveler, but I've been around the block a little bit. And what I've seen in multiple spots is that there's like layers of society or like layers of culture. And what I mean by that is like, all right, let's take the lake in Guatemala. Right, so one of my favorite places on the planet is Lake Atitlan in Guatemala. And it's so cool, man. If you ever have a chance, definitely go check it out. But all the little pueblos, all the little towns that are around the lake, they're all named after Spanish saints, right? So like San Jose, San Juan, San Marcos. And that's because at a certain point in history, the Spanish conquistadors came through and took over the place and renamed it. But before those knuckleheads came in, right, before that wave of colonizers came through, all the towns had different names, right? Like there was a totally different culture there. There was a native people that were there before the new folks came in. And what I've seen there in Guatemala, also in the United States, also in other countries, is that the folks who are native to the land or older to the land, right? Like a couple civilizations ago, those folks have a much cooler understanding and relationship with nature and with the planet, right? Like in North America, you have the word Native American is stupid because there was no America, right? When those folks were here by themselves doing totally fine, right? And so I hate the word Native American. First people is the thing that comes to mind, but we'll throw all that out, right? So like the indigenous folks, there you go. The native folks to the North American continent, we'll say it like that. Their relationship and how they understand nature and animals and the planet. For me, I think it's so cool. And it's very much one of reverence and respect for all beings, for the creepy crawlies and the two-leggeds and the four-leggeds and the winged ones. Like, yeah, man, there's just an understanding that we're all in this together. And the humans do play a role, right? Like, we're very much a steward or a caretaker, right? And it's our job to, yeah, like, watch over the place in a loving way. But we're not better than any other species. And we're sure as fuck not different or separate from the whole thing, right? And so that understanding, that perspective, to me is way cooler, way more aligned, feels way better, and is going to result in a lot of different decisions compared to what we have now, right? Like a couple waves of colonizers later, right? So now you got, instead of the original Mayan names, or even before the Mayans, right, in Lake Atitlan, now it's San Marcos and San Juan. And then for the United States, like what used to be land that belonged to the Iroquois or the Cherokee, or, the who knows how many different tribes were already here. Now is like New York and Boston and right. And so there's this layer of civilization and culture that's on top of what was here before. And I'm going to talk more about the native folks and, what was here before the United States came and did their rob, rape, pillage, and steal trick. Yeah. Because the United States has some karmic debt it needs to get right with. And I also don't think that we're able to move forward in a beautiful way without acknowledging that and addressing that. But I think that's going to be next episode. Yeah. All right. So talk about kind of facing our demons and honoring our roots, and then also honoring our diversity in the present in the next episode. Yeah. But coming back, all right, to our relationship with the earth. There we go. So essentially, for me, if we want some really cool suggestions on how we can have a better relationship with our home, right? Like how we can show up in relationship with nature, with the other forms of life that are here, I think the best teachers are going to be folks that we would now call like native or indigenous peoples, right? Because those older traditions, they lived differently with a different perspective. And thankfully, despite a bunch of fucking awful white people's efforts, right, like we still have some access to the native traditions and teachings here in the United States, or, on the North American continent, on Turtle Island, as some folks like to call it. Yeah, so we still have access to some of these teachings. So it can be taught pretty easily and probably should be included into the revamp of the education system as well. 1,000%. Yeah. Because, if the next two generations grow up with part of their education being around this stewardship mentality when it comes to the planet Earth, it's going to change shit a lot in the next 20, 30 years. So, yeah. So we got to change our relationship with Earth and with nature. And again, like, we're not separate from Earth, right? Like, we are life. This whole spinning rock is life, and also, we're just part of a universe too, right? So like, we're so not separate in so many ways, but specifically for this spinning rock, the life that is here, humans are just one version, one form of it. And so if we can get with that and put ourselves back on equal footing with all other forms of life, and understand that we have the capacity to support all other forms of life, yeah, man, then it's cool. Then we can appreciate and receive from the abundance that's here. And if we understand also, like, that the earth is life, or a living thing, I think that makes it harder to then just be super greedy and just take shit, right? Like, the classic playbook is that if you want to treat people or a kind of people terribly, you have to dehumanize them first, right? So you have to essentially create a story or an idea around that person or these kinds of people that makes them less than human or less human. And then it's easier to do less human shit to them, right? Or to do awful shit to them. And so I think that kind of applies here with Earth too. Like if we were to have more of a conscious awareness that the Earth is alive, like nature is alive and it's growing and moving and blossoming and doing all the cool shit that a human does too, right? If we understood that, then we're in relationship with something that is alive. Yeah, then I think it invites in a different way to approach it. If you don't think something's alive, then just take whatever you want. But if you think it's alive, then, it might be a little more morally challenging to steal all the French fries or go fracking, fucking all over the place. But anywho. All right, cool. That's good. Next thing I wanted to hit here is a big one. Yeah, because essentially, we got to get rid of fossil fuels, period. Like we have to stop burning the earth to, fuel everything that we're doing. There's ways that we can move and produce and live and participate in our lives that don't require us to trash Earth or really like ransack it, right? And there are energy sources that are available that are much more sustainable or completely sustainable. And so when it comes to oil, yeah, it's just, we have to move to vehicles and a society that runs oil free, right? Like a zero carbon footprint or negative. Well, I don't know how it works actually. A carbon footprint that isn't bad, right? So I don't know if that's positive or negative, but yeah, we gotta get rid of fossil fuels. And there's actually a 2-for-1 deal here, which is really nice. If we get rid of fossil fuels, we stop fucking up the earth in awful ways, but then we also help facilitate a transfer of wealth, right? Because right now, society runs on oil. That's why we're at war in the fucking Middle East every other couple of years, among other dumb shit that the United States government does all over the planet, right? Because our society runs on oil. And so we need oil to keep everything running so that those that are in power, can do their thing and, the billionaires can have more and we can have less. But if we do away with fossil fuels and we find a different energy source or multiple different sustainable energy sources, now all of a sudden there isn't gabillions of dollars pouring into the pockets of the people who own the fossil fuels, right? So moving away from fossil fuels towards sustainable energy sources is good for the planet and it's good for the transfer of wealth back to the people, or at least transfer of wealth away from the folks that have already demonstrated how corrupt they are. And so this is also why wars are fought and change is fought, right, by the current establishment, because they don't care that they're fucking polluting the earth or fucking with the balance of earth that's necessary for humans to exist. Their priorities are making money, and they know how to do that through this one method. And the consequences are less important than the profits. And yeah, and that's been happening for generations. And so, we're living currently with some of the consequences of the prior decisions. So yeah, fossil fuels got to go. And some people will say, oh, you can't do that. We need gas. We need to. Listen, if all the oil just disappeared tomorrow, by next week, we will have figured some shit out, right? Human beings are super fucking resourceful, super adaptive, super smart. And so if we are put in a situation where we have to come up with an alternative, we will. It's just right now, there's not the motivation to come up with something new, right? Because the powers that be are rooted in the old ways of doing things. But it's possible. We can do it. And there's, so many different stories about alternate sources of energy that have been discovered or invented and then smushed and squashed, right? Like oil companies and billionaires buying patents and just throwing them in the back closet or burning it, right? Because if we came up with a totally free, totally sustainable energy source tomorrow that everybody had access to, that would totally upset the balance of power. And the folks that have power aren't looking to let go of it anytime soon, right? So, yeah. So getting rid of fossil fuels is a win-win because it fucks with the greed maniacs running the place, right? It transfers wealth out of their pockets. And then it also like stops fucking with the earth. You know, I was thinking about this when it comes to fracking specifically. Like the earth, you know, has been evolving continuously for billions of years. And so naturally things are, you know, happening and the layers of the earth just kind of build on each other. And then when they frack, they just drill through that shit and blow up like way deep in the experience, right? Way deep in the earth. And then just suck a bunch of stuff out. And then the earth like kind of collapses in on itself in ugly ways. Right? And it's with fracking specifically too. I mean, like drinking water becomes flammable. Like it's fucked. Right? So like that's a process that is allowing certain parties, certain peoples to access a resource that they can profit off of. But it's, again, at the cost of the people and also bruising the planet or like banging up the planet pretty bit. Right? So fracking is awful. I don't give a shit what nobody says. But also the rate at which we're burning oil and coal and all that stuff, like coal, coal and carbon, this stuff took like millions of years to be created. And we're burning through it in like a week, right? Or like a year, right? The degree to which we are burning through certain parts of the earth is so wildly out of whack with how long it takes the earth to create that stuff, right? So like, you know, if you have a bank account and you're putting in $1 a day for 1 billion years, that's cool. So maybe there's, you know, $1 billion in there. But now if you start taking out $100 million every week, that shit's going bankrupt soon, you know? And with the earth, it's not a bank account. It's a living being with systems that are all interdependent. So if you fuck with one part of it, it fucks with multiple other parts. And ultimately, again, there's a very small window in which humans can exist. And so all the earth has to do is be pushed in a particular direction a little bit, and then a couple systems fluctuate, and then all of a sudden we are outside of the human window and we're fucked. All right, like human experiment over. So yeah, that's not great. And if we are moving from an understanding or a mentality that we are life, that this is all interconnected, that we are stewards of our home, we are stewards of this like beautiful, amazing place. From that perspective, we're not going to do this kind of shit. You know, like we will figure out ways to live and exist and have things that fly and things that drive and, you know, whatever else, whatever other inventions we want to create. We'll figure out ways to do it that don't come at the cost of the place we live, right? That don't negatively affect a whole bunch of other beings that we live with. And we'll definitely do it in a way that doesn't jeopardize the opportunity to even be here, right? To even exist in the first place. Like, it's so fucking dumb right now. The greed just, it has a part of our population so fucking lost and drunk that they are making decisions that potentially threaten the ability for all of human beings to exist, right? And I'm not saying this shit's going to happen tomorrow or next week, but like we're heading in that direction. And yeah, man, it's fucked. And so, yeah, also this feels good. And so, like, you know, we have lots of science, lots of research that apparently people just decide not to fucking believe or hear. I don't know. That shit makes my brain hurt too, but Anywho, we have lots of science and research by lots of smart people that tell us we are heading in a not so great direction as far as human beings' ability to exist on the planet, right? Like that's there, and we're moving in that direction. But what gives me hope is that there are so many miracles that happen just naturally around us all the time in nature, through humans. We take a lot of it for granted. You know, like the human body, for example. Like how the fuck does the human body do all the shit that it does? It's pretty miraculous, you know? So it's that kind of miracle awareness. And also I've seen at different moments in time where if you get a bunch of people or a bunch of manifestations of life all on the same page working together, we can get good real quick, right? And so even though it's a shit show right now when we appear to be driving 100 miles per hour off the edge of a cliff as far as our relationship to the planet, I do know that we have the capacity and the capability to turn shit around really quickly. And I mean humans, but I also mean life, right? Like life can make cool shit happen, miraculous, unpredictable, mysterious shit happen very quickly. And so, yeah, I retain hope in spite of the fact that the fucking maniacs driving the station wagon appear to be gaining speed while heading towards that cliff. Yeah. I still got faith. I still have hope in life and the mystery. That shit can be different. And that shit can be way cooler. And I also understand personally, you know, like sometimes shit's got to get real weird and real dark and real heavy before there's finally the spark of change or, you know, motivation to move differently. And so I sure wish that the folks that need the pain would hurry up with it, though. All right, like get the pain you need to fucking start doing shit different today. Because I'm fucking over it, man. The humans are drunk. Who left the humans unsupervised on this fucking planet? Like, that was a bad idea. Right? Whatever superior intelligence or species that's off on some other side quest across the universe that's supposed to be in charge of the humans, they need to come home immediately. Because we are fucking this thing up. Oh, man. Yeah. But we do. We have the wisdom and the capacity to do this different. So it's just a matter of putting it in motion, you know. Enough of us becoming ready enough to then, and not completely ready, just ready enough to start investing in new ways. And then we can kind of just go back to just chilling on Earth. This like beautiful fucking paradise. With seasons. I mean, like, think about it. How fucking cool is it? Earth is just beautiful, period. And then there's seasons. So there's like different gradations of beautiful or different like flavors of beautiful that come and go. Like, fuck, dude. This place is so awesome. And we are making a fucking mess of it. But, yeah, when I pray for Earth-related stuff, it's much more like gratitude for Earth or Mother Earth or, you know, whatever it is, right? The larger life force here. It's gratitude. Like, thank you for dealing with us. Thank you for putting up with us. I'm sorry for, you know, like what we're doing. It's shit like that. Because the truth is that the larger experience here is super patient and super loving. You know, like the ultimate mother archetype. Yeah. Mother Earth is just here, taking the blows, getting kicked in the shins, getting fucked up by her little unruly, wild, ungrateful little fucking toddler terrorist. The humans. Yeah, man. You know, and the job of being a mother is, you know, you can never express enough gratitude or gratefulness or appreciation for someone who answers that call and serves in that role. Yeah. I mean, what if we like actually got back to thinking about the Earth as our mom or our mother, right? Or a matriarch, if you will. Like, it'd be a lot harder to do some fucked up, vile shit to your mom, you know? So we gotta reshape how we understand and look at and relate to our home here. And specifically, right, like the United States, like we can't be selling off national parks to get fucking chopped up, or, you know, we can't be drilling all over the place or running pipelines in a shitty, haphazard way and then polluting fucking spot. Like, we got to do better. The United States has to do much better as far as its respect for the land, for our home, for the other beings that we share it with. And then also, you know, globally. Yeah, we got to do better too. And there are some societies, there are some cultures, some traditions that are way cooler about it, you know. So again, I think I have some cool ideas here. There's a lot of other people who also have some amazing ideas, but I think we have to pull from multiple traditions and cultures, right, through time, to then have a discussion about, yeah, how do we take care of the planet? How do we respect the planet? You know, like, how do we keep the house clean? You know, like, because it's our fucking house, it's our home. And so one of those has to hit, right? Like, either Earth is your mom, or it's life and you are also life, or it's your house, it's your home, right? Like, whatever it is, cool. You know, like, whatever lands for you, that's fine. Then just move in a way that honors that understanding or that relationship. And again, we don't have to, right? Like, human beings don't have to move with respect. And we have plenty of examples of that right now, right? Like, a lot of folks just moving with total disrespect, right? And a lack of regard for the environment and life. So we don't have to, but we can. And if we do, it's a totally different experience. And I, for one, am over the current clusterfuck, you know? And I'm hoping there's a lot more folks out there that agree and feel it, right? Like, it's not a debate, but it's more of a felt kind of resonance of like, yeah, man, we got to do better. And so that would be my 2 cents or 20 cents, whatever. Yeah. We got to recognize that our current relationship with the planet is fucked. And it's fucked for us, right? The planet will evolve and we will be no more. All right. So I'm talking self-preservation of the species here. And then specifically within the United States, yeah, we got to do way better protecting the beautiful North American continent. We got to understand our relationship different, and we got to get rid of fossil fuels yesterday. Just period. No, like, oh, by 2030 or oh, by 2040. Like, none of that bullshit. Let's just fucking do it. All right? Give ourselves a drop dead date of fucking next year, and then start making plans for how we would exist without power or cars or planes, without oil, right? Like, once people start making those adjustments and plans, I bet you there's a whole nother level of urgency that comes through as far as more sustainable sources of energy, right, to keep society running. So fossil fuels out tomorrow, period. And if that means we ain't got Wi-Fi for fucking 6 months, you better watch a lot of Netflix while you can. Yeah. And there may be sacrifices that are required, right? Like, there might be certain current luxuries or things that we've gotten used to in our experience that, you know, if we change the way we relate to the planet and the way we understand stuff, you know, like, we might lose stuff. But I'm cool with losing Wi-Fi or losing air conditioning if it means we get to live in harmony with the planet and all the amazing manifestations of life that are here. Like I'll sweat a little bit and go back to playing outside. I'm cool with that. So fossil fuels go. We get much more conscious about a stewardship of the planet as far as how we relate to it. And we got to have a reverence. Like I said, either it's mom or it's your house or it's you in a different form or a bigger form, right? Like whatever allows you to have some respect and some reverence and then show up that way. That would be how I would encourage folks to look at our lovely little home here. Yeah. Because we have like an amazingly beautiful opportunity to hang out in these bodies and fucking go swimming and run around in meadows naked and just do fucking cool wild shit, right? Like being a human, it's such an amazing opportunity to do so many amazing, wonderful, cool things. And currently we are making a fucking mess of it, like you could be running naked through a meadow singing, but instead we're fucking working 40 hours a week and paying taxes. What the fuck? Like, come on, man. We're better than this. We're so much more creative. All right. I think I'm done. Oh, yeah. And we got to bring this kind of reverence and respect and perspective and put it into the educational experience, right? From a young age, we teach the little buggers that they're just part of something. The earth isn't here for them to do whatever they want with, right? The earth is here for them to be awesome and have fun and play. And part of being here is also respecting all the other beings that are here. Little, big, funny looking. Yeah. If we make that part of the societal download for the little nuggets, the little beings, again, 10, 15, 20 years from now, the decisions being made are totally different. And the quality of life is totally different. So, that's it. That's all I got on this one. Next episode, we're going to talk about the less than great past of the United States. Yeah. So that might touch some buttons. But as anybody who's done some work on themselves will tell you, you can't move into a new future if you're still dragging the past, if you still got a closet full of skeletons. And the United States very much has many closets full of many skeletons. So we'll talk more about that in the next episode, but for now, be gentle with yourself, be kind to yourself, be kind to our mother, to our house, be kind to yourself, because we are life, Most of the time I run around and answer to the name of Drew, and I think I'm just this body and its needs and its wants, but there's a deeper presence, a deeper understanding that is very much aware of how interconnected this all is, and how the presence and the energy and the being that is talking on this podcast is the same one that's listening to this podcast, right? Like what is looking out of me and seeing you is the same thing that is looking out of you and seeing me. Yeah, man. We all one around this place, and that includes all the other forms of life as well, right? Like not just humans, but the puppy dogs and the pterodactyls. Well, I mean, they're not really here anymore, but the same thing that was looking out of their eyeballs, right? It's the same thing that's staring at you through the eyes of your puppy dog. And I apologize that just made it weird looking at your dog, but that'd be cool though, right? If like your dog was a pterodactyl in a previous life. Anywho, be gentle, be kind, be Be awesome. And I will see you at the next stop on the Drew in 32 presidential campaign trail. Love y'all.